Hi, this is Shay Veronica on Naked Departure Radio, and with me today is Victor Callender. We want to talk about rats. Victor, say hi to everyone.
Hello, everybody. Good day.
Okay, you can go ahead, take the floor, just go right ahead.
Well, I wanted to talk about rats. I wanted to talk about the rodent kind that seem to have. There's an infestation of them in Barbados, pretty much like there is an infestation of them in New York City. New York just hired its first rat czar to kind of deal with the problem that exists there in the city of New York. You have rats that are bigger. Some of them are as big as human beings. And I want to talk about the rats in Barbados. You have a lot of rodents in Barbados too. Both you have rodents and you have political rats in Barbados. A rat isn't going to get rid of a rat, Sherry Veronica, because it's a rat. Rats know rats. There's a saying, if there's a nuclear holocaust, the last thing left on the planet Earth would probably be rats and cockroaches. I don't know how to discern which is which dealing with politicians, but all I know is that the political rats, that's what I want to talk about right now, in Barbados, the 30 elected people in Barbados who were there for the good of serving the masses that elected them, that gave them their franchise, were supposed to have, one, come into politics with transparency. They came into politics, Sherry Veronica, somehow they lied to the masses. We haven't solved the issue of the Auditor General's report yet. Mia Motley, that's your part of your purview as the Chief Executive Officer of Barbados' government to solve the problem of the Auditor General's report. The other guy, the laughing hyena that's at the top of the Attorney General's office, that be Dale Marshall, your job is to significantly decrease crime in Barbados based on your legislative mandate. Whatever you have to do to espouse proper legislation to reduce crime in Barbados, it's up to you. And then there's other areas of corruption, maladministration, all the things that Mia Motley said when she wanted to get rid of the last political party in Barbados, the Democratic Labour Party. Mia Motley, you need to prove to the people that you are making a significant change. Their lives need to be made better. So I'm talking about not only the rodent rats, the four-legged ones, but the two-legged, two-handed, larger cranial rats that's walking around the Parliament of Barbados every single Tuesday or whenever you meet to do whatever you do. What does that manifest or purport to be? Are you doing these things, or are you in a rodent form, just denuding and just collaborating with some form of the stupidity of the masses of the people and insulting the intelligence of the masses? Because to me, the most important thing of all is that the people of Barbados are not played for fools, that those that are in power do the right thing. And while you're at it, talk to yourselves and answer the important questions as to whether you need to be there for 20 or 30 years. Why not political term limits? Why aren't you talking about issues that allow for the people of Barbados and the Barbadian society to be made wholesome and better by term limiting yourselves? The absolute aphrodisiac for most of you happen to be power. So if power is the ultimate aphrodisiac, power corrupts and absolute power corrupts absolutely, then don't you guys think that you've been in the political limelight for way too long? It's time to give away to other younger Barbadians for the future? If that's the case, Sherry Veronica, then term limits seem to be the way to go, all the way to the top. The Prime Minister does not need to be there in excess of more than 2 terms. Regular members of Parliament, sitting members of Parliament, no longer than 2 terms. And then look at your judiciary. Is your judiciary a functional judiciary? You moved away from having those stupid wigs on your head, but you've taken the wigs off and maintained the mentality of the British Empire, the colonial power. Maybe we need to reform that way of thinking in order to meet the mandates necessary for the regular working class people of Barbados. Those are all questions that you need to answer. The ISO project that was mentioned by Brother Grenville Phillips not too long ago, if Barbados adopted a working ISO system in place for its civil service population, maybe you will have a more workable civil service where people are doing customer orientation in the correct manner, and the regular Barbadian citizen was being served with respect and decency. So an informed civil service, a better civil service, all the way from the bottom to the top, and vice versa. So I'm here today to talk about those issues. The rodent population, the rat population, both rodents and humans, seem to have invaded Barbados, and that cannot be good for the people of Barbados. So naked departure basically only reports the news. Naked departure doesn't make it. So here we are just reporting what we hear and what we see, and I appreciate you, Sherry Veronica.
You're welcome. You're welcome. I have nothing to add. You did very well just now, by the way. You did very, very well.
Thank you.
I have nothing to add. I'm sure you've heard of those medical schools in Barbados that people are not saying. None of them are accredited, and they're paying over $100,000 to attend, and they can't work after they graduate because no school or no hospital or they can't go anywhere with the certification or the degrees they receive from schools out of Barbados because it's fraud. Even the teachers are frauds. The people who organize them are frauds. That's what they're saying. That is all alleged that these people have.
Quite rightfully so. Quite rightfully so, Sherry. My background, as you know, as an administrator in the hospital system in this country, speaks to that. I mean, do you want to be having neurosurgery with an ignoramus who doesn't know the difference between a cranial saw and a needle? You don't. Most of those people who go to those backdoor institutions, those offshore medical institutions, couldn't get into a medical school here in the United States of America. They have the illusion that they want to be doctors. And I'm not saying that those offshore schools every now and then don't find a diamond in the rough. They do. Some of them do. But for the most part, these people couldn't pass the MCATs here in the United States of America or the equivalents in England or Canada or Australia. So they run to these offshore institutions, and most of them, they will not get into residency program in the United States of America. Not. Because they're second-class citizens in a first-class medical world.
Right.
And that's not an elitist statement. It's just a statement of fact.
Right.
I don't want to go to a doctor who doesn't know what he or she is doing.
Agreed.
My health is too important.
Agreed.
To me. So I think they should shut these places down. Any organization that has put its lock, stock, and barrel into these offshore medical schools to send out these physicians is not good. Now, having said that, Cuba, under the Castro model, had a great way to train doctors, especially optometrists, and ophthalmologists. Since Castro has passed, I don't know if that has continued to promote a good healthcare model. But
Cuba did a lot of things out of necessity, for sure.
Yeah.
Because they were ostracized,
Yeah.
and they were there were a lot of tariffs and that kind of stuff against Cuba. So out of necessity came doctors, came a lot of scientists, a lot of stuff came out of Cuba because of necessity. But another good point.
Yeah, but as far as the rest of these people, they're trying to use the backdoor way, the fast food way of being a medical doctor. There's no fast food way. It's a labor oriented program of study, and you want the very best of the best to be doctors and, for the most part, lawyers. You don't want lawyers that are crooked and don't know the law, and things like that.
Right.
So you need the best people for structural engineering. You don't want to be driving over a bridge that's going to collapse.
Of course not. Of course, so it goes back to the rat system. It goes back to all the rodent system that you were talking about initially. Because when your money is involved and fraud is all you get, you've been had, and it takes a real big fat rat to do things like that. That's all I have to say.
Yeah, we have fat rats. We have rats in Parliament. 30 of them. 30 of them that wake up every single day, and they don't look themselves in the mirror and ask themselves, why am I going to Parliament today? You have people who can sit there and add no major contributing factor to the legislative process, to debate, to understanding the system as it is and the problems that their constituents face. They're just comfortable being in the rarefied air of driving around in an air-conditioned car. And Mia, we've got to return to the grassroots level of politics, to understanding every single day why we wake up. I don't wake up to be self-grandiose. Self-grandiosity does us no good. We should wake up every single day with a commitment to service to the people. And commitment to service to the people does not include hiring 12 or 11 or how many other sycophants were hired, but making politicians prove that they're worthy of the franchise given to them by the electorate. And when you can do that and sustain that, and be part of the struggle of the people, and be part and parcel of the alleviation of the struggle of the people, then you would have accomplished something. Politics, to me, is an ingrainment in the love and the caring of the people, of the struggle of the people. If you don't feel the struggle of the people every single day, if you don't know that struggle, then you're in the wrong political business.
Wow.
You're in the wrong business of life. Get out of it.
Wow.
Period.
Wow. Thank you, Victor. That's a good ending note. You cannot top what you just said and how you just ended this. Thank you, Victor. Thank you.
Very welcome.